Thanks everyone for attending today. We have some pretty exciting news out today, so if you get a chance, please have a look at our news today. We have, I think, a significant situation with Lomiko at this point in time. As you all know, Lomiko Metals is, as Gilbert said, is working on flake graphite and in developing flake graphite potential in Quebec. And we've been doing that for quite some time, and really getting an A-list property together is no small feat, but we're there right now. So Lomiko trades on the OTC QB under the symbol LMRMF, and also in the TSX under LMR. We are also listed in Frankfurt as well. So we have a lot of coverage. We trade on a variety of different platforms, Alpha, CX2, Chai. So we have a lot of distribution out there and a lot of opportunities for people to participate. And we do trade on all those different ones. So I think this is a very well-established company that I've had the pleasure of working with since 2009 and been the CEO of since then. So what do we do? Well, we want to supply materials for the electric vehicle revolution, and the specific material we're looking at is graphite. And graphite is very, very important, and I'll discuss some of that as we go along. So as you can see, we're focused in Canada, specifically Quebec. We feel this is the best mining jurisdiction. What we're wanting to do is get to the opportunity of developing mines and then processing units, which will be a little bit more advanced than just mining the material. What it'll be is converting that material to spherical graphite, which is the end product that's worth quite a bit more than just graphite alone. Now, we've initially done 170 drill holes into our property. We have two different areas of discovery. One was a focus of a 43-101 in 2016, and now we're going to do a consolidated update on the property, combining both the graphene battery zone and the refractory zone, which is the new zone we've just discovered in 2018 and 19. Now we have 80% ownership of the property already, and we will be progressing to 100% under the current deal, which has already been accepted by the TSX. So we're in that mode of completion, and then really switching to development in the next little while. After metallurgy and 43-101, we will go on to a preliminary economic assessment, which will put a value on the company, which we think will be very significant and improve the stock price and the valuation of the company. So what are we looking at? Well, we've had a lot of excitement the last few weeks with Tesla Battery Day happening. And everyone has been talking about electric vehicles, but the real value is not in the electric vehicle companies. Obviously, those are very highly valued and overvalued in some respects. But what hasn't developed yet is a supply chain for those materials. And that's what we're all about. But as you can see, the next 20 years should see year-over-year growth in electric vehicle sales. And not only in Tesla, but many other forms of battery-powered devices, such as electric bikes. And now there's a fleet of trucks that's also coming out as well. These are all going to consume graphite, and it looks good for the next decade or two here. So that's where you want to have a look at some of the companies like Lomiko at an opportunity level, which is, I think, undervalued at present, and I think next 2 months. So going to build or actually established, those batteries will need some materials. They will need graphite, lithium, cobalt, and manganese. And we think this is a very good situation for our company to get involved at this level and continue the growth cycle and development cycle and develop a lot of material that can be sold for profit. So why graphite instead of lithium or cobalt or manganese? Why would you want to look at graphite? Well, the mere fact is that there was more material, graphite material required to build a battery than any other type of material the in the space. So we have 92 kilograms in every Tesla, which is a considerable amount. That's almost 200 or over 200 pounds. And what we're looking at is a variety of other vehicles also have these multiple pounds. So if you want to look at it this way, for every 1 million Teslas on the road, we will need 300,000 tons of graphite being developed and being sold. So we're nearing that mark of 1 million vehicles, and all the graphite material and carbon material that's used for the anode of the graphite, the lithium-ion battery, are being used up. So we think we have an opportunity to fit right in the supply chain, and I think create a lot of value. As you can see, all of these materials are some materials that you should be looking at as investors, but primarily graphite is our interest because it has the most volume, and also there's also fewer big companies that are involved that can destroy market. As you know, there's big companies such as Albemarle and SQM in the lithium market, which really control the price, along with a few Chinese companies. But with graphite, it's much more open, and we can launch supply agreements and offtake agreements with potential users of the end product. So we think it's a very open situation, and it's an opportunity to make a big deal. So drilling down a little bit on why the material is so important, as you can tell, as you can see, this is the shape of the material. These are graphite crystals that are mined and then separated from the host rock. And they provide an excellent conductivity. Graphite is a very conductive material. They're readily available materials, so they won't run out. Their ability to accommodate lithium is very important, and they have an energy density that's going to work for the batteries. And that means that you can put more energy into a battery and have it move forward. Now, there's no swelling. There was talk recently of silicone being used in battery day. The reality is that silicone still has problems because there's lots of swelling in regards to the material being used. And many people have tried to fix that problem. It has not been resolved to satisfaction yet. So what are the markets that we're looking at? Well, refractories, definitely. Battery materials, that's growing at 16% in this particular diagram, but it's probably growing more than that. You have foundries, lubricants, many materials. So it's not just electric vehicles that we have to depend on. We have other customers as well. So that makes it a good business case going forward for Lomiko to be in the graphite materials. Current pricing, what's very important here is if you look at this area right here in the spherical graphite field, that's the real green zone for us at Lomiko. If we can produce this material and have our cost steadily for producing the material under $1,000, we'll have a significant margin and a significant return on investment for every ton produced. Now, there is millions of tons of material on the land. We now have to discuss and put out a report indicating what the economic viability of removing the material and shipping it to market is. And that's the exciting part. That's the real value add part for Lomiko right now. So what other things are important? The critical metals agreement in Canada and the United States have been signed. Now, a supplement to this is that we put out an extensive news release today, and it's obvious that Mr. Trump and even all parties within the United States recognize they need to be self-sufficient in these critical minerals, which include graphite, lithium, cobalt, manganese, and others. So they have decided to support their own production of these materials within North America. That means very good news for companies like Lomiko, because you need, for that 300,000 tons I mentioned of graphite that create 1 million cars, of 1 million Tesla cars. Well, each mine right now worldwide only produces 25 to 30,000 tons of material per year. So you need many of those mines to keep up with the demand just for the electric vehicle industry. And as you know, if there was limited supply and increasing demand, we will see a spike in the price of the material. And that will also give us a very good situation in the markets for Lomiko, because as the commodity prices spike, as gold prices go up or lithium prices go up, so do the juniors that are in the sector. And definitely if a graphite price goes up, Lomiko benefits. So this is all working together. The timing couldn't be better for us. And even today, Mr. Donald Trump, as President of the United States, announced that we announced that he had signed an executive order to really take action on this. And he joins both the House and the Senate on this. So there is unanimity on the subject, which means very good news for all the miners in these areas. So we're really, really looking to get our product defined, our mine defined, so we can benefit from investment from some of the funds in New York and other places. What's the big deal with Quebec, and why Lomiko? Why do you want to look at us? Well, we've done our homework. This is what doing your homework looks like. We've identified an area of mineralization. Loutre is the flake graphite property we're doing. It is in the purple in the middle there. As you can see, it's only about 110 or 120 kilometers to the port of Montreal, which is in blue. And also, the only graphite mine producing in North America is just near us as well. Now, the importance of that is they have skilled labor. They will have capital investments, so they may want to buy some of our material or work with us. That's very important. One of the other very successful projects in the area is Nouveau Monde, which is trading at about 60 million market cap at present, and they're just on the other side where the Quebec inset is there, of the province of Quebec. So what we have is really a Goldilocks zone here of good mineralization, good host rock, near surface. As you can tell, it's near surface, open pit, and I'll show you the drill results shortly. But that all bodes well for reducing costs and increasing the value of the project going forward in mining. So when we drilled primarily, first we had the graphene battery zone, which is outlined in red, already defined in 43-101, and this new zone has been drilled, and we are very excited. But as you can tell, there's very significant amounts of areas that we have not drilled even yet. Those are perhaps a little bit deeper and weren't as easy to get to. Although there is a road into the property. So what we have here is a definition of the graphene battery zone, a well-defined target that's been drilled out. All those lines are drill holes that have gone into the deposit area, and top line numbers are 4.1 million tons of 6.5%, which yields, if production was done, 268,000 tons of material. And then in the inferred category, 6 million tons of 6%, which yields about 400,000 tons of material. So those are just the real start. We would start at that level, and we think that's fairly good, but not as good as we want it to be funded. So what we did is we drilled another area called the Refractory Zone, which is just to the north of the graphene battery zone by 400 meters, and we found a very significant area of mineralization. As you can tell, these two holes here are our two best holes on the property. They're very near each other, and what you have is 135 tons of 7%, which is only starting at 3 meters below this, 4 meters below the surface. That's only 10 feet. And then we have another one, was 110 meters of 14%, which starts at 30 meters, but that is only because of the area in which it was started to drill. You notice this drill in the middle didn't missed a little bit. It was started a little bit further back. So as you can tell, the mineralization is right to the right side of this anomaly here. So we have a very good idea that we have a very good property, and we need to complete proven and probable drilling during the preliminary economic assessment and other works.
Hi, Paul. You may like to wrap up soon because we have a few questions for you waiting here. So
for sure. So what we have here is the additional drill results, and what the big picture here is this nice long area of mineralization, which we'll now develop into a resource shortly. So we have, I think, a very good situation where we're having catalysts coming, and we have a share structure that's fairly tight. We own quite a bit of the stock, so we're hoping to add additional people to the mix and get some, I think, some stuff done in the market. So thanks very much. And
thank you, Paul. Yeah, so let's get going with a few questions here. This question from Johnson. So do you know how does the grading work for graphite? There are cutoffs in terms of quality that the battery makers will want?
Yeah, the battery grade, as I said in the gray chart that was there, it goes from anything between 80%, which can be used for pencils or whatever, to 99.9%. So we want to have, for electric vehicle, the most pure material, so 99% pure, and that is something that we need to have large flakes for, so we can convert to the spherical graphite. So, but for steel making, it's 94%. For other ones, it's other percentages. So everything can be sold out of the property. That's the beauty.
Yeah, sure. The second one coming from James Powell. He saw your news before regarding engaging Canmore to raise capital to acquire and develop projects. What's the status for that so far?
Yeah, essentially what we've done is we built out the development plan already. And so what we have is Canmore participating in the funding of the actual build of the project. So that is taken care of. The Investment Quebec will also participate up to 20% of that. So we have the development phase or the feasibility stage really funded. Now what we need to accomplish is to complete a preliminary economic assessment, so we have a report that we can market the material on. So we're in a good spot, and this is a good opportunity. You know, it's harder to raise 500,000 than it is to raise 5 million, and easier to raise 5 million than it is to raise 500 million. So once you have the project defined, you're all good to go. And we think we've made a very good case. We just need to continue to fund the project forward.
Yeah, so as a follow-up question from Corp, how much money have your company invested into the project, and how much do you actually need to achieve your goal next?
Yeah, we've invested $4 million into the project thus far for 80%. We'll need 1.5 million to complete the 100%. And we'll also need to have a PEA for 2.2. So about 3.5 more is required. We're raising funds now at 5 cents. And so we encourage people to take a look at our news releases on the website. There is a 5 cent raise with a 10-cent warrant for 2 years that's available. And that we're raising 700,000 now. Then we'll add to it some flow through or some other funds later on, and that will allow us to complete the PEA and get on to the development phase.
Sure. So let's squeeze in one final question from Samir Gerges here. How much cash do you currently have, and do your company have any like burn rate per month? That sort of.
Yeah, our burn rate is very small. There's just myself and my CFO in Vancouver, and the consultation group on the geological side is in Quebec, and we hire them when we need them to complete various tasks. So we're very well structured that way. We don't burn money for no reason. We do have investor relations costs and et cetera. So we're looking at about 30,000 a month at this present time, which is fairly reasonable considering that we have a good, I think, outreach program, and we have about 250,000 available to us in funds. So that's minimal, but we're going to increase that with this next financing.
Okay, thank you, Paul, for your answering all the questions. I will let you go now, and again, thank you for your time here today.
Thanks very much, Gilbert. Okay, you guys have a good day. Bye
Yes,
for now.
you too.